All right. Hello and welcome to some more Minecraft Musings LOTI edition, or LOTI, however you want to read that. Let me just put this in. Oops. Um, so yeah, hello everybody. I'm super tired and oh my gosh. What is, wait, what? Oh, today is Wednesday, my dudes. I was trying to set an alarm and it was like saying set for 1 day from now. Like, what? For some reason I thought it was Thursday. But anyways, happy Wednesday. So oh shoot. Sorry, I also just realized while we are doing this, so I'm setting up a computer. I'm trying to think how to do this. I do kind of just want to get a different power cord. Let's see. I got an idea. I'll go ahead and charge it up for now. That way it should be ready by the time I'm ready. So I've already wiped an old Dell. I believe it has 16 gigabytes of RAM, about 500 gigabytes of. Oh, dang it. It also has a screw coming out. It's okay. Now, I probably should have done all this mess before getting on the video. But I mean, that's part of this whole series. I'm going to try to eventually get red key USBs to anybody who wants to, within reason. They're $100 each. And so, like, I'm going to buy a couple of the 5 packs or the 4 packs or whatever they are. I believe they come in a deal. I was one of the initial investors in the or what is that? Well, it's a crowdfunding type thing, and you early order the product. So, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, I didn't do like a whole lot for them, but also I'm going to turn on the fan. It is still pretty hot. I was going to try to do it without the fans, but I also don't want this PlayStation to overheat. Uh-oh. That was weird. So, anyways, we'll have a little bit of fan sounds in the backgrounds, but basically, so this laptop donation project, it's a project that my work's doing. I work for a nonprofit, and it's really just a pilot program right now. I'm testing out how to donate laptops to the community. I live in northern Colorado, and I'm trying to help out like those most in need. And and in no way is this like super gallant or anything, but like I said, I'm trying to replicate this across many different areas. And if it's successful here on a small scale, like, and especially with a small nonprofit, like we're a very small company, and like for safety's sake and stuff, and like doxing and all that, I don't talk about it much, but I mean, people can find it out pretty easy. But anyways, um, and if this works, I'm also plugged into the PTA for Colorado. Um, Not super strongly, like don't get me wrong. I'm just serving on one of the committees, and like I'm just trying to like get more involved and kind of like figure out where like my time might be best spent, I guess. And I'm definitely having a lot of fun. I'm actually on a strike force too, like doing a thing, but which hopefully comes to fruition. But I mean, or even if not, maybe we can figure out ways to like help situations and stuff. And actually, that's one of my future goals with the laptop donation project. For now, I'm actually trying to help out like housing insecure and homeless, and even people coming from prison or jail. I'd like to reach out to the local community corrections. And actually, I have a lot of friends and family that work for DOC, the Department of Corrections. So like, I already have contacts. Like, I mean, it wouldn't take hard. And again, nothing too crazy, but like, I just have friends of friends that like would be able to connect me, or at least like figure out a way to go about. I mean, plus you could just call them too. I mean, that's the thing is like, if you want to help out, like I know they have specific career services staff, and so that's what I would do. Is in fact, I've already talked to them a few years ago, but um, it's taken that long just to get the laptop dono project done. Um, for anything worthwhile too, I should say. I mean, I did have some other laptops, but they were pretty much garbage, like not very strong for anything. I mean, granted, the majority of people using these things are just going to be using them for like a web browser or, a document editor, an Office suite, which you could do LibreOffice for free. Um, just donate later when you have the chance. So that's how everything should be. That's why I'm a big supporter of open source software. So is Richard Stallman. In fact, let's look up Richard Stallman real quick. We're going to take a pause and do a computer science tribute to a computer scientist. I think it's Richard Stallman. Yeah, Richard Stallman, also known by, oh wait, dang it. Also known by his initials RMS, is an American free software movement activist and programmer. He campaigns for software to be distributed in such a manner that its users have the freedom to use, study, distribute, and modify that software. Software which ensures these freedoms is termed free software. Stallman launched the GNU project, founded the Free Software Foundation in October 1985, developed the GNU-C compiler and GNU, or the new, I think is how you say that, Emacs, and wrote all versions of the new general public license. Holy cow. And see, and I did a thing, so if you do free code camp, that's one of the things is you make a tribute page in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and I chose Richard, RMS, I guess, it says Richard Matthew Stallman. Yeah, because he goes by his initials. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna look him up. Oh, that's crazy. You know, we live in a world where you can actually talk to your idols and stuff. Like, yeah, no, whoops, Richard Matthew Stallman. He's not popping up. What the Jesus? Yeah. No, these look like. Mm, look like him. Ugh. So, but anyways, one of them says meth cook in Kansas. But anyways, and why I kept getting excited about the new stuff is that and all that free software is because that's exactly what it is. And when I learned computer science, I learned it at CSU from using Linux, and we studied a lot of the manual pages or man pages, which always seemed a little weird. Kind of seems a little sexist, but like I believe it stands for manual. So, like 90% sure. Sorry, I'm sounding like a gravelly old lady with the cigarette smoking and blah blah blah. I'm watching you, Suzowski. Anyways, so I'm charging up this laptop. I already red keyed it. For those that don't know, red key USB can wipe. Okay, good. I was like, is that a different one? All right, it just looks so similar. But red key USB can wipe most laptops and smartphones. And it's like $100 a key. They're just a little USB stick, like, and super easy to use. I mean, I don't think it could be easier. Like, they walk you through it. They ask you questions step by step. They tell you what they're doing every time. I mean, I guess it is a little tricky to boot into the flash drive, and so, let's get into that just real quick. So, you power down the computer, and then you turn it on, and then you just start pushing F keys. It's easier if you Google what the typical key is. Actually, I'm sorry, hold on, let me back up. First, Google the... Never mind. Like, I mean, I should have started with that. Like, that's how I used to do, is I just would press the F keys, but it is easier if you just search for, like, you know, is it a Dell, or is it a Lenovo, or is it an HP, or is it a... I'm trying to think of computer brands. I mean, there's Alienware, there's Asus. The ones I have are mostly... Oh, wait. Are mostly Lenovo and Dell. And HP. I mean, for my personal computers, I've generally been buying HP. Oh, and Toshiba. I have a Toshiba laptop from back in the day. I did. And that's the other thing, too, is like all those other... Like, I mean... I should go back and wipe some older laptops. I actually do still have them, but I never did anything nefarious. Like, and that's the thing, is like, if you have a device laying around with bad files or things you shouldn't have on them, I mean, and really, yeah. you should get caught anyway. I mean, like, unless I was always worried about like people like planting that on people's machines and saying like, framing somebody. But anyways, back to the laptops. And so another reason you just want to wipe everything is like because people will be able to have access to your files. And if you just simply delete them, even just moving them to the recycle bin and then deleting them in Windows, um, like it just removes the pointer to them. The data still exists written as it was, unless you completely override it. So, like, over time, if you fill up your hard drive, like, just completely fill it up with other files, then yeah, it would overwrite the files that were saved previously. But that's a pretty big if. And you never know, like, even as you, like, delete and save stuff, it could be, like, replacing parts of it and then just still rewriting the other places and leaving your deleted data intact. So, I don't know. Anyways, it's the red key's good. Just the regular wipe wizard. Um, Although I should, just for a sanity check, learn to test to see if there are files on it. Now I know Linus Tech Tips does it, and that's why I trust it so much. Linus Tech Tips is a very knowledgeable content creator. It has a YouTube channel at least. I don't know, probably other stuff, but that's where I watch it. And I actually watched him for my cybersecurity boot camp. It is a 6-month intensive boot camp and completed X amount of like course hours or whatever, but it's still just a certificate. But still, like, it was pretty intense and learning all of like the modern stuff to look for. And really, the best part was like the reassurance, like that most of the cybercrime is not that crazy. Like, I mean, it's not like Mission Impossible, people hacking your stuff and all that. It's mostly just like people guessing your password or asking you and you tell them your password. Like, which, I mean, that sounds silly, but that is actually one of the biggest attacks I've seen in the wild is Facebook profiles trying to message you and send you to a link, and it looks like a login link. You're like, oh, I thought I was already logged in. Let me enter my credentials again. And you give them your username and your password, and then it just kicks you back to Facebook. And it looks like, oh, I'm logged in now. And then wait, what just happened? And then before you know it, they could even hijack your profile, which I don't think they do. Like, they get in there and they try to like be quiet, and and then they start messaging your friends, and they say from you, and they start trying to have your friends go to a link or send money. I've actually had my grandma, rest in power, um, she was impersonated by someone who copied her profile picture and tried to friend request me. Did friend request me, and I accepted. I was like, "Oh, grandma, what are you doing? I thought we were already friends." I thought she like unfriended me and like on accident and was gonna say, "Oh no, it was just a mistake or something," because I knew I was already friends with her. I checked my friends list and I saw her listed there, so I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And then she started talking about getting into a car crash. And I was like, "Oh yeah, typical grandma, but why are you telling me this? Like, I feel like I'm one of the last people that you would." Oh, let's see. I'm all full up. I should probably go drop off this stuff. Okay. Um. Yeah, and then she asked me for money. I was like, "This isn't my grandma. She knows I don't have money." Like, I would be like one of the last people she'd ask money for. So, anyways, that's when I realized it was about that time I realized it was that Loch Ness monster asking for that tree fitty. And so it was a scammer trying to get money from me. So I unfriended her. I warned the family and the friends. I like went through her friend book and I reached out to everyone I could and said, "Hey, this happened. Unfriend them, block them even." And I want to say I reported it, but actually now that I think about it, the proper thing would have been to report the fake profile. Oh wait, no, did I? Hmm. How would I even figure this out? Hmm. Hmm. Oh, you know what? I gotta report it from one of my other profiles. Because I have multiple profiles for reasons, but yeah. Anyways. Sorry, I wanted to make sure I do this. Because I did not do this, I don't think. Let us see. Yeah. Hmm. Am I hitting a dead end? Oh. Wait, what? Oh. That's... Jeez. Wow. So what I did is I just went and did the same process. And I'm trying to do it without plugging in the keyboard. Now I am plugging in the keyboard. Because this is just ridiculous. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the fake profile. Report profile. Something about this profile. Fake profile. A friend. Submit. Okay. So at least this way... At least this way they have a record, and so they can hopefully check the IP address. What's this? Actually, before I wish this person a happy birthday, wait. Yeah, okay, okay. Oh man. Sorry, I got distracted into this. There we go. Happy birthday, Scotty. There we go. I'm posting. Okay, now I'm done. I reported the fake profile, but anyways, that's the biggest attack I've seen, and it's easiest for them because you're literally just giving them your credentials. Like they're not hacking anything. Oh, I guess it is still hacking through social engineering, and it is building the software to make the login screen look similar to or the same as. It doesn't even have to be the same because most people don't really remember what a Facebook login page looks like, and there's so many that like it's not outlandish to think that someone would just do that. So, nope. Let's see how this is doing too. Dang. Okay. We're gonna actually let's go ahead and take. Oh, sure. Where's the nearest? Oh man, I don't have a crafting table out here. Can I just make it? No. I can make it into dye, but I can't make it into bone. All right. Bone block. So we're actually constructing like fossils and bones from. I'm making this big pile. I'm just continuing to build it out. There we go. So we're gonna have like Bone Mountain, just of all the bone meal that we're converting. And like, yeah, the cacti do a pretty good job. In fact, I wonder if there's any like floating there, because that's gonna be clogged for a while. Oh, now it's filling with the these things. Okay. All right. Somehow it snuck in there, and so now it's going. All right. Anyways, so the other attacks I've seen are people trying to follow you or send friend requests or connection requests, saying that they're a lottery winner and they want to give you some money. And now, in order to give you money, oh yeah, that's right. I was okay. That's fine. I'm trying to save up food for the Memorial Village, but that's all right. Let's get rid of the watermelon. Eventually, I'm going to build a massive watermelon mountain. Um, Oops. That's not what I meant to do. Hay bale. For the llama lounge. So I don't have anything. Some of that. Let's give them a bunch of sweet berries too. I mean, so when you're doing an ofrenda for like some Spanish cultures around Halloween, you're supposed to put like food or pictures of things that like the person that what they enjoyed in life. And so kind of like so the idea is they can come float down and hang out at the altar and be like, "Oh yeah, I remember this," and "Oh, good times." And so it's like you're kind of communicating with them and just like respecting them and just being like, "Yeah, I remember this about you," you know, and here you go to remind you of like what it was like and so on and so forth. So similar to the Memorial Village. So that's why I'm putting these up there. Because yeah, if there is even a sliver of a chance, like if there is a spirit that persists on, even if it gets captured by Xenu or what have you, that's the Scientology thing. And honestly, it sounds like it could be a thing. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Like the sci-fi stuff. I mean, and besides, at the end of the day, sci-fi is just like an extension of human thinking of like, possibilities and perspectives and scenarios. So that's the best entertainment. So, so let's just do the non-wheat and get that for the Memorial Village. Trying to think of the other attacks. And I actually almost fell for. I was like 80% sure that it was a scam about that lottery thing, and I'll admit it. Yeah, I started talking to them with the intention of, well, one, studying what they do because that's what my instructor did for the cybersecurity boot camp. That's what he told us. I mean, he worked for military intelligence and like, well, I don't want to divulge too much, but that is an important thing when you're trying to protect your system. You want to watch their behavior and see how they act, what they're doing, like what commands they're entering. Because I mean, there should be a log of everything, or at least a mention of a log if something was removed. So, like you can't completely erase your tracks. And even then, yeah. I'm trying to think of any other things. Oh, blackmail. So sometimes malicious actors will pose as attractive females or males, whatever you're into, whatever you respond to. Um, and then they will send you nudes of that person that they're catfishing, and then you will send them nudes, or maybe. And if you do, then, and since they've been looking at your friend list and everything, they threaten to tell your family, tell your kids, like, just whatever, like messed up stuff, or give them gift cards. And so, yeah, and it's like, granted, you can just report that, and then, Facebook will investigate it. I was going to say, I'm already full up already, but, um, no, just too fast. Ka-chow. But yeah, and then like Facebook will investigate it. Hopefully they're tracking the IP address, they're tracking the activity, they're getting ahead of attacks on other people, tracking. I mean, they can see messages and stuff. Like I'm pretty sure it's in those agreements. Like, you know, don't violate these orders because we might look at your messages. Like if there's suspicious cause or probable cause or something or like a warrant, especially with a warrant. Like if the police and the law enforcement want to see what you're, I mean, granted that's kind of sketchy. That's a slippery slope, but at the same time, I mean, you know, if it's for public safety, yeah, that's the world we live in post 9/11, and love it or hate it, it's here. So, but I like to think it's done more harm than, or more good than harm. But now the people are organizing. Mm. We're just gonna fix our own problems. You know, can't wait for the politicians because they're not working really for the majority. Not always. They might talk a big game, but at the end of the day, you gotta look how they vote. Ah, no. Llama, get out of here. Don't think it broke anything. So those llamas are actually attached to tether. Oh, no, they're not. There's quite a few, actually. Huh. I mean, they're not doing anything. They're staying over there. It's just the ones wandering through my garden. I can't be having it. So, anyways, and yeah, mostly it's just people asking for gift cards. Like with the lotto winner, that's what it ended up being. Is like they wanted to ship me a box of money, and in order to do that, I had to send them money to pay the driver to bring it to me. So tell me how much sense that makes. Because if it's a lotto winner trying to like give you some free money to help you out, wouldn't they just pay the FedEx driver? Wouldn't they just arrange for a place to meet you with the package and not even your house? Because you should never give away your home address on the internet. But I mean, it's discoverable other ways. So I mean, you still just got to prepare for like, you know, people might know stuff about you. So you hope not. That's why I like how I've had like several addresses. Like, I mean, yeah, they're floating out there, but it could be this one, it could be that one. You know, of course I'll look for most recent, but and even then that might not be accurate because, I mean, I've only been in this place like 15 years. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna say how long because then you'll know which one. You gotta think like a criminal every time. It sucks. Until we live in a world where such things don't matter, and we're actually getting close to that. Because like, even if someone steals your credit card information or your debit card, I mean, it's easier with a credit card because then they just shut it down and refund you the credit as they investigate it and catch the people or not. But like with debit, it's actual money. And I don't know why one's easier to waive than the other, honestly, but you know, it is harder to recover actual money from a debit account versus a credit card, at least in my experience. So, oh yeah, and they love to pose as ladies, like they'll try to attract you and seduce you and all that. And actually, you got to be careful of that because like I had one. This was on a different platform on the X app. Oh wait, what is this? I missed this much. All right, so yeah, let's go somewhere. With that one, she sent. Well, so first off, I stood up for OnlyFans content creators, just because I think people should be able to sell pictures or content of themselves doing whatever. I mean, and if it does fall into the categories of corn, like whatever. Like I had some friends back in college that they did private dances, and they abided by the law. They didn't, you know, I don't know if they took taxes out or not. So, well, let's not talk about that part so much. But I mean, you know, but they enterprised off of their feminine wiles and like legally though. It wasn't like prostitution, which sucks to say. I think we should legalize prostitution. The governor of Colorado thought the same, and he tried to put something forward that was shot down ultimately, or I think he rescinded it. But I mean, and it sounds perverted at face value, but if you really think about it, it could prevent most predation crimes. Because if you present people away, and I say people because it's not just men, but it's like 90% men as far as SA or sexual assaults or predation crimes, if you give them a target other than women in the community to get their needs met, or not a target, that's probably a bad word, or not the best word, more of like an option. There you go. An option to get your needs met in a more ethical way. Oh, is he up here? You. Yeah. Oh, packed ice. I'll do that. What else you got? I like mangroves. Okay. Alright, because you might trample my crops. So anyways, um, and it turns out it was someone catfishing, trying to sell me other... Oh, wait. Let's back up a little bit. So if you legalize adult sex work, like adult massages and stuff, you will give people a much better alternative than trying to go out to the bars to meet someone. And even if you're just trying to get them drunk the quote-unquote legal way, but still maybe not ethical way, and continue to keep buying her drinks, or just some women that you meet at a bar, like that is a little more acceptable, but still, it's yeah, whatever. I mean, as far as like if they're choosing to do it, that's one thing, but anyways, but then slipping people something in their drink, something like that, that's what I want to see never happen again. And unfortunately, I actually have some first-hand experience with knowing somebody that did exactly that. Piece of human garbage. But anyways, seriously, like who does that? Who does that? Like spike someone's drinks? Like that's ridiculous. I thought it only happened in movies. But anyways, they can get their needs met some other way for some money. I mean, and even then, like maybe we need to have like a cheap option, like you know, and I'm sure we could figure some stuff out, like maybe even have guy workers and like if they're cool with it and if they're not worried, if it's just a mouth is a mouth, then anyways. But my point is we could alleviate a lot of the pressure on women in the community, and not just for like predation crimes, like just like in general, like women wouldn't have to be like courted and dated for the sole purpose of getting that need met. It would be more based on love and attraction, and they could like skip a lot of the games, which I think a lot of women could appreciate in the community. But really, the main goal is like to reduce or stop predation crimes, because that's almost up there with murder, because you're potentially ruining their life. You're ruining the quality of their life for sure. And we gotta grow some mangroves, and then that was the alarm, so I'm gonna cut it here soon. But anyways, just looking out for the community, because everyone has a mother, if not a sister or a daughter, and if you care about that person, you would want to make sure that things were done to where they weren't preyed upon at any stage of their life. And so, I mean, and that's a whole other issue. Let's talk about Texas and 12-year-old dancers. Like, that's some garbage that needs to. I hope it's not still happening, because like after SPM got busted, like, because I was reading that was like part of his justification was like, well, she was at the strip club. I was like, wait, what? Like, excuse, give my ever loving pardon. Like, what? Yeah. So, anyways. You can't fix stupid, but you can, actually. I'm just kidding. You need to call it out when you see it. And the proper way, too. Just don't go straight to Snitchville, but, like, talk to somebody you trust in the community and say, like, hey, do you think that person looks a little young to be in this establishment? I don't even know how that happens, but anyways. That's the time on this one. I'm going to go. Ta-ta for now. I'll see you in the next one. And I will be adding the titles too. Someone pointed that out, and that is true. Like these are very bland titles. Like they go straight to production from the PlayStation, and I could send them up as unlisted private and then wait until, which maybe I should start doing. But then I figured like it's already out there, so people are watching it. So when I do these random things like tech tips or security tips, like then it's potentially reaching somebody, and then it's planting that idea in their head. Same with the predation crimes. Like, I mean, and here's the other thing is like people are becoming aware that it's almost impossible to get away with predation crimes, and as soon as these Epstein files like land, it's gonna happen to where people are like, oh snap, I'm gonna get busted for this. There's satellites in space that can take pictures of me at any given time, and like Starlink, it's sending and receiving a lot of data. How hard would it be to slap a camera on each one of those satellites? They have a 24-hour, 7 days a week view of everything that you do. And actually, Now that I say that out loud, that kind of scares the crap out of me. But I don't do anything too bad. So I mean, definitely nothing illegal. So like, I don't worry about it now. But younger me, like in the prohibition days, slanging that ganja, and I did, and the law enforcement knows. They know about that, and they knew about it back then too. They just didn't consider cannabis as that big of a threat. Now, if you're out there selling that tweak, that meth, yeah, they bust you. Same with heroin, like those really dangerous ones, like, and you should always stay away from those. Like, I'm never saying that that's okay. They're not. Not even once. Like that is the commercial. I remember they had an anti-drug commercial back in the day. Oh no. Ow. Oh, wait. What am I doing? I'm sorry. I don't have to hit you out here. It's just in the garden. Like, I'm sorry. I'm smacking llamas. I know it's a digital thing, it's fake and everything, and I have to kill like tons of cows and everything. But you know what? I'm building a llama lounge. I don't like killing them if I don't have to. So, anyways, but back to the nonsense. So, you tell 10 friends and they tell 10 friends, and we all say, hey, you can't get away with grape crimes. Just don't do it. And then, easier said to done than done when they're drunk. Like, I mean, and I'll admit, I've done some, never put anything in anyone's drink, but like I've tried to like be strategic about getting needs met at college parties. Everyone is like, it's just one big smash fest most of the time, but you got to be careful. I mean, and that, just so much wrong with it. That's why I love that weed's becoming more popular and like alcohol is less and less popular. And I think just that's going to help. Like, I got a daughter. I don't want her running into that nonsense later and like waking up with a horrible headache, not knowing what the hell happened. Like, that's horrible. Or worse, like some of those drugs I think can kill you. Like, I mean, if it's in a bad situation or say, actually, yeah. Sorry, I know I'm like going over 30, but not necessarily the drugs, but just irresponsibility. A girl died at Pi Kappa Alpha at CSU. Let's look that up real quick. And then I'll say ta-ta, and I'll probably do another one because this is fun. I mean, not this. I'm not enjoying looking up death, but holding people accountable. You betcha. Girl dies at Pi Kappa Alpha party. Fort Collins. Yep. On September 5th, 2004, 19-year-old Colorado State University sophomore Samantha Spady died of acute alcohol poisoning. Her body was found inside an unused room at the Sigma Pi fraternity house. Oh, Sigma Pi, not Pi Kappa Alpha in Fort Collins. The incident prompted major campus alcohol policy reforms. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Huh. Let's see. Context regarding Pi Kappa Alpha Pike in Fort Collins. While Pi Kappa Alpha was not involved in the Samantha Spady tragedy, the CSU chapter of Pi Kappa Alpha faced its own severe disciplinary actions and disaffiliations from Colorado State University over separate incidents involving hazing and alcohol violations. For further historical context and campus reporting on these events, you can read the archival coverage via Summit Daily. Alright, so never mind. It wasn't Pi Kappa Alpha. Dang. I mean, they did get kicked out for other reasons, and that's where the serial rapist was graping. So the Fort Collins police are well aware of that. But so Bulla, yeah. And if you're part of the Pi Kappa Alpha, hopefully you've never done anything shady. If you got nothing to hide, then you've got nothing to worry about. But they are investigating still. So Bulla. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Actually, I'm gonna be right back. So ta ta for now. I'll see you in the next one. Yo, Jimbo.